asɔre bi wɔ hɔ no mu asɔ no enyi paa na ntɔkwa bɛɛ no te mɛma no nyinaa actually nyɛ mɛma ɛnyɛ mɛma no nyinaa na mo hyɛ da kɔ ɛmaa no na mo pam mɛma no nyinaa ɛmaa no fire mɛma no nyinaa esan sɛ ɛna problem ɔmo ko ntɔkwa the positions in na ade na ade na bi mu fuye na mɛma no kaka we kɔ okay na ka kakra nti kakra na ka yɛ no akai omo mama na kai no omo nya ade e oba bo ade kire omo nya ade wo futu ho ti mana ti ton kra no omo nim sim so what happened was Emra, thank you so Obana Sano Emanu to Janai and Uncle Pearl software beach out say I'm running on wow. So from by taught the Bible, teach you nade. But the process of doing that, a man many in Aqua and become member meal. A ma about 20 something, the mamma meal. Now, man, no, so back so coin a cabacco. And Javidi, I wanted you on Obama back on every beer. I don't know if it's a word. 25 a man at you on one. No, my year, and I'm missing my and I can't man and corn, no more so from you, your bed. And just sorry, you're buying no so for buying your bed. So for the 2 or 4. We more hobby. Don't preach it, don't teach it, no yabia. No man to deny. Ha! And only yen, no pay yen, and I suffer the cost, nay, a man ever. In the end, what happened? That one is another story. So, thank you very much for today. And I thank Uncle Christolo. He was supposed to teach today. I was not supposed to be here, but I'm sure my schedule, there were a lot of things going on, a lot of things piling. So, the best thing is for me to come and finish it. And then, we will contribute soon, so I had to finish it today. But today's lesson is actually the core of the whole lesson I taught for the whole 5 weeks. And it directed to the memo, talking of the structure of church leadership. Okay, structure of church leadership. What I mean, the first page in 2 minutes. And only ever come on 7, that's what we're going to talk about it today. And well, some of the problems that are going on within us, the churches of Christ, in the world we live. We today have inherited a lot that actually are hurting us. And instead of us correcting it, we're actually making it worse. And I want to talk about this leadership structure within the church. Last week I had a conversation with a brother who went to Canada. He was invited to go and conduct a gospel meeting in Canada. And they gave him the invitation 2 months before the actual event. So he asked them questions, he talked, and then the time came, he went there. Number 1, he got stuck at the airport. The congregation for about 35 people in a building that can take about 500 people. And he's stuck at the airport. Nobody from the congregation have to go to the airport and pick him up. So he started calling. And one brother have to leave work and pick him up, take him to a hotel, and go back to work. Mm-hmm. And then, the time of the program, first of all, in the evening, he tried to call many people. So, okay, what's the plan? What's going to happen? No idea. And almost everybody that he called telling him, say, well, whatever you have for us. Hello? This is a whole church. You invited me, so you don't have a plan. You don't have anything. So why do you invite me to come here? My brother knows or be a watch hours of no. Elder is a one road with 2 coins. John also, or no kind of more transit. No kind of idea. Or no Saturday, all the lesson. Sunday, all the lesson. And okay, and you may go back to the hotel. There was no arrangement for them even to prepare food and give it to him. Some people had to take him to a restaurant. And then on Sunday after service, and they start having meeting with them. And the leadership cannot come to consensus. Omo adwene entimi nya baako. Adan. Onyankopon hyira mo. Moto dan. Na dan no mko. Friends, let's run it back. I'm going for software be. Software is here, Unimade Kakra. There's no lack of leadership, lack of maturity, nothing. Also for Subu Mokasia, or travel for how many? Less than 2 years. Or we have $40,000 or the call 40,000 Canadian dollars. Or to me signed check, no more cash in a or call and say no moon said this is what is happening. So leadership structure is very, very important. As I we feel say, well, fine, we have a friend saying, business committee. Yeah. Many churches today, that's what is happening. Not even beginning churches, grown, mature churches, they pray. They feel say, well, we have a business committee. Yeah. And I try to say no way we preach it. Then we shovel, going back and up and down. There's no plan, there's no structure for the church. And that is one of the fundamental problems that we have within the churches of Christ. So I want to talk about this leadership structure today. I want to talk about structure. I'm looking at the elder, the minister, the deacon, the ministry leaders. These are the people that hold the church together. If we don't have strong people, then the church cannot function, the church cannot be stable, and the church cannot grow. So I want to talk about these people today. And then let you understand what yellow paper. Yellow paper is one yellow paper. And then I know. Oh, good. I can't wait to see you. We are different. Okay. We know. Hey, Omo person o may be also. Okay. So the hands that hold the church together. The elders, the minister, the deacons, the ministry leaders. Very important. Very, very important. And others oversee and they shepherd. Okay. The oversight and the shepherd. And I said something about oversight and what? Insight. Okay. For you to oversee something, you need to know what's going on. Talk about that. And then a minister is the primary and the sole communicator in the church. Okay, we have the elder, and then we have the minister. And then we have the deacons, who are the operational support. Okay? Then we have the ministry leaders. They implement what the elders and the deacons have put in place. The goal, everything. They make sure things are implemented. Okay, now, Titus 1 verse 5, Obi mi mami. Titus 1 verse 5 and 1 Peter 5 verse 2. You know what, we might not have time because there were a lot. So let's just read 1 Peter 5 2. The rest is on the board. You can read it yourself next time. 1 Peter 5 2. The Bible says what? Now, there were 2 words, be wahano. Those 2 words in 3. 1 Peter 5 2. Bible doesn't say. Lord have mercy. We are in English Bible. Okay,
5 2, right?
Yes, sir.
All right. Verse 2, no say. feed the flock of God which is among you, taking the oversight thereof, not by constraint, but willingly, not for filthy lucre, but of a ready mind.
Okay, 5:2. Your translation means one word, but it all mean the same. Okay. She is saying.
Ose munyane onyankopon enwankuo a owo hunu munhwe won so enye ohye so na emum odomu sedi onyankopon epe.
Okay.
Enye edufudi pe enti na emum akoma epe enti.
Okay.
Amen.
You know, those two words I'm looking for. The first one say munyen, and another is
munyane.
Munyane. Munyane, what then? That is the shepherd, right? Right?
Yes.
Munyane.
Yeah.
That is to shepherd. Okay. So the English Bible, the other translation says, shepherd the flock of God among you. Exercising oversight. Two words. Okay. Shepherding, oversight. That's for the elders, you know. Okay. Shepherding, oversight. Okay, this translation brought it. Shepherd the flock among you. Okay. Shepherd the flock of God which is among you. And then there's another word. Oversight. Overseer. Okay. Now, an elder in the church, these two words, these two roles are very, very important. So anybody who wants to be an elder must listen very carefully. Oversight is the how. Okay. So what's the difference between oversight and shepherd? Shepherding here, oversight is a Munsha wonso. And I say Munye omo. Yes, sir. Okay. So these two words, oversight is the how, and shepherding is the heart. That's how I put it. I want to explain. Okay. Now, how does the church function? Oversight ensure the church is aligned with its mission. Okay. Every church have a mission, have a goal, have a plan. We know where we're going. Okay. And to oversight is you have to make sure that every activity, every function, everything that goes on in the church is in line with the church mission. It's in line with the church plan. It's in line with biblical principles. An elder. You don't just wake up and say, I'm an elder. And then you have no idea what you're doing. But whatever goes on, right from the preacher, deacon, a minister, the church members, whatever goes on in the church is in your hand. Okay, and you have to make sure those things they are doing it right. In the government, we have the president, right? We have the Congress. The president is the president, the man, the communicator in the entire country. The president can make decisions, but the Congress can stop the president, isn't it? Yes. The Congress can make a decision, but the president can do what? Veto it, isn't it? So they work hand in hand. Okay. So now, if the elder is overseer, and then the second one, I'll put it this way. Oversight asks a question. Is this working? In other words, a woman here, Obi a all shesino. Obi say question say that a year and I say ye. And somebody who shepherd, the shepherd also asks, are people growing, healing, and being loved? Now, what I said, the shepherd is the heart, is that a shepherd is someone who always makes sure our health is good. A shepherd is someone who makes sure, say, only, kasa waka say, in and as a bass hole, mission tibia more and yet. Mamma can fear them go find near Coswo. A shepherd, Anuna Santo Quasia, See, wait a minute. That's not healthy for the church. Let me find out what is going on. And he take it upon himself to visit and to solving problem. That is shepherding. A shepherd, and a friend saying, so Unyano, Kona said, and Koya, then, Utimi Manoso, not that tone in the council. That's shepherding. Overseer, or no, or Shan near Koso, or Shan Crofuna, or Motion one, so. See the difference? Okay, so if you want to be an elder, you need to make sure you shepherd the people, and then you do what? You oversee the people. Now, the shepherd, the elder, who is the shepherd and the overseer, I put it said, they are the guardrails of the congregation. So who kaka na who tu kwan. Now do be probably so na say who tu bridges so ye wade bi o kwan ni nchen e de be a. Ye was small fence bi e wo kwan nchen. E bi o he dade e na mo de aye. Guardrails. Ba kon say. Adentra. Why? Why did they put those guardrails there? And why did they call it guardrail or dummy? Why? Why did they do that?
To prevent you from falling.
To prevent you from falling. But you driving, why would they think ahead and put those things? We are human beings. Sometimes we behave stupid, isn't it? Sometimes we drive and sleep. Sometimes we do many things that are unnecessary. So it's a car, no guardrail, no day. It bring you in. Okay, a couple of months ago, I rent a car to out of state somewhere. And that was the first time. That car made me so love. I said, I want to go and buy one. Now, for some reason, and I'm glad I rented that car, I didn't sleep the whole night. I was very tired. I would travel and I fall asleep. And as the car is moving to the white or yellow line, automatically the car pulled back itself. That's how they designed it. This modern cars, self-driving test, self-driving. Not self-driving. Self-assist. Lane assistant. Okay. In the car, I can say, "Bantino, oh, that crown is a can. Oh, no, banade. A coy baby, I don't know. A break in there. So, you, the shepherd, you are like that. Sasafuno air continent. It's your responsibility to bring the church back. When we are doing things out of line as an elder, it's your responsibility to straighten us. That's your job. And you don't only do that when you come to church on Sunday. Because I strongly believe, sir, problems in the church are solved behind the scene is better than exposed in the church. A good elder would never let problem arise in the church. When he sees something, he makes sure he solves it behind the scene. How do you solve it behind the scene? He visits. He knows people. So sorry now tiu kasemua. Esa so nimu ntino. Obo say menua ba na menua ba me. Bibi nkoyi. Uba sorry now bi sampabo elder no otena hodin otie. The point sorry if you know a fro wagina nchen. If you know about fear, no man to say. To say we are bompa yema, onyame wo ho no. Na den e koso. That's the duty of an elder in a church. So if you have somebody who is capable of doing that, it helps the church to be what? To really, really grow. Now the last thing about eldership. Because of all what I've said, and that's why it's always good not to have one person, but plurality of people. Okay? A plurality of people. Nipa mienu, Mensah, and 9. Okay, 2, 3, 4, 5. Plurality, so that decision can be made right with wisdom. Untimi faba akumpo and see who say, oh, you're an elder. You have to be plural. Okay? Then we go to number 2. The minister, a software. A software. Again, today we have many congregations. They didn't have preacher. They didn't have elders. and they do things for themselves. And some even conclude, why do we need a preacher? Somebody told me in a congregation in Glambani, we need a preacher. And an old man stood up. He said, wait a minute, everything is going fine. Why do we have to bring one person for all of us to listen to one person? Why? He missed the point of having a minister. He missed it completely. Okay? So a minister is somebody who does what? Who equips the people. Ephesians 4:11-13. His role is to preach, teach, counsel, and equip the church for the ministry. Okay? He serves as the sole and primary communicator in the church. Let me pause right here. Can somebody tell me why I think a preacher is the sole and primary communicator in the church? Can somebody tell me why? Obi betimi nenti America say so nenti America say osofo no wo ene nipa when the person come on, help me now. When the main person ujina asafuna name, if I put it right, the primary communicator or the sole communicator of the church is the preacher. It's like Moses, it's like Nehemiah, and it's like Paul. They were the primary communicators. And every primary communicator always go through difficulties, challenges, problems, even from the people they live in, and from where they're going and the traveling, the road, whatever. Everything is on them. Sometimes when things go right, better, good, flourish, so nice, beautiful, nobody say a word. But when something goes small, they go to him. So if that one thing, no, but when something happened in the church and somebody from outside, let's say the government or wherever, I would say somebody come, the main person they'll be looking for is the preacher. Because he is what? He is the head. Okay. Now, the minister dedicates his time in prayer and study to understand and interpret what God is saying to the church. Okay. Now, every minister in the church, okay, I said this and I said this many times in many places. And see, as you show us off, we have to have this in our mind. You are our preacher, not because we want you to preach. Put this in your mind. We are here or software. And yes, sir, because the person original pulpit didn't. Everybody can do that, right? Everybody can preach. So we hire you, or the church have a preacher, not because of just the pulpit, but we want somebody who can translate or interpret or show what the Bible is saying or what God is telling the people. You, the preacher, that's your job. You know what God wants. You know your flock. And you have to interpret God's mind to the people. And sometimes it's not easy. And that's why a preacher, you have to dedicate yourself. Study. Pray. Study. Pray. Know your people. Many people want to be preachers, but they don't want to study. Many people want to be preachers. They don't want to go to Bible school. Let me take Bible school aside. Sometimes the reason why people dedicate themselves to go to Bible school because what they teach there, the church cannot teach that. So it's fine. We go and equip ourselves and then come. And when you come, your job is not just to preach. Your job is to make sure you put the structure that are in place. Your job is to make sure we have the elders, we have deacons, we have ministry leaders, and your job is to make sure all this structure is in place. Because you know the vision, where we're going. So you are a preacher, you preach, you teach, you equip, you cast the vision to the congregation. Many churches today lack this. Okay? And for some reason, I don't understand. Sometimes maybe because of ego, like my preacher said, if you teach somebody how to preach, you preach you out of pulpit. Okay, Uchirobi say, Uchirobi senior, yeah, one year, no crowd years. Sometimes that's our mentality. Oh yeah, Juma, unyo be yeah, Juma. Na, he says, so what's the pano? No, but who ye pano? What do you know? I say, wait a minute. Some chako we pan. What you know about the year, Jammy? Sometimes that's our mentality. But that's not how it's supposed to be. So the preacher is the primary and the sole communicator, means he speaks not just from the mind, but from the heart. Let me explain that. The sole communicator, let me explain that. You see, to preach a sermon, and yes, I was sorry, and I did about what you say, wait there, okay, wait there, me go preach away. You see, I'm sorry, I only preacher, no. Dedicated person, no. That's what happened. What you want to say, what do you mean? Was some of the party, but me preaching. Obi ho no mo aso no, obi ye ni bibi, and that's what who there was obi ye ni bibi. No, you use your pulpit to know boni panachi. Po. Achinechi na nipa fufraba. Somebody else have come to the pulpit. No, so opposite. We become confused. No direction. So if you have a preacher, one person, his job, he casts the vision and he lead the church towards that vision. A preacher preaches a sermon knowing what is happening in the congregation. Before you come and stand here, what you say, have you heard sometimes a preacher preach a sermon and somebody say, wait a minute. Now, Obiaka mi wants someone to How did that happen? So, a preacher doesn't talk too much, but he listens too much for what is happening. And then he used that to prepare a sermon to educate the entire congregation without him getting involved first. And yes, sir. So the sole communicator, you preach a sermon that heal, that touch people's heart. You preach a sermon that when people live here, they can feel. You see, let me tell you something. I've heard this a lot of time, but let's be honest. There's truth in this, what I'm about to say. Yatibebre say, Obi say, well, because I cry, I saw cry a ball. No, Obi saw a response. So wait a minute. I'm sorry. In your stadium, you're not a spectator. You have to give something. So if you don't get anything, that means you didn't give anything. That's fine. But let's be real. There's a truth in it, say. Sometimes you hear some sermons and you ask yourself, what is happening? That's a fact, that's truth in it, let's be honest. Okay. A sermon has to touch the people's heart because it's a problem you are resolving. Before you teach, before you preach, your preaching have to heal. And you do, I say, you are here. This is what you don't know to answer some. Now it can't be you're not happen. Whatever you do, whatever you teach, whatever you preach, whatever you teach, have to align, have to lead. It's like a puzzle. A piece of the puzzle can lead you to our destination where we're going. So, we know where we are going. We are healthy. We just started. We're going. But along the way, some people become weak. Some people cannot have the strength to continue. Some people fall by the wayside. That's when all sermons, teaching, come in to strengthen us, to help us, to guide us. Just wake up. Let's do this. That's what sermon and teaching is all about. So you have to know the people. Not by their name or where they live, but what is happening in their life. Where do they work? In marriages, some people come to this building, but they have masks in their faces because you have no idea what's happening at home. It's your job to be able to know all this. And when you know that, and this is one secret that sometimes we preachers also we don't know. You see, the more we do this, the more it builds us. The more we grow. And the more we become likable. So the job of a preacher is very important. In let me finish the preacher side with this. Sometimes they say, well, you need a software, and you go hire a software, and you go pay software. The question is, 1, why do we need a preacher? 2, what is our plan? What's our strategy? What are we expecting from the preacher? All what we want is we want a preacher. Are we ready? If we know where we're going, if we know what we want to do, if we know what we expect from the preacher, are we committed, dedicated to ourselves to support him and to help so that whatever plan we expect him to help us can be accomplished? These are some of the friends saying, primary and answer behind the scene work that we need to do. There are some people, they want to be a preacher because they need money, they need to get paid, they need a job. Okay? There are some people, that's what they want. What do we want? There are some people who their whole mindset is, I'm a preacher, so I have to preach. That's it. I don't have to administer. So we have to know what we want before we get that person. 2, why do we have to go outside and get a preacher? You see, sometimes we might even have a preacher among us within the members, but we don't even know. It is the church responsibility to train people to know its members. If somebody here, we've seen that this man is dedicated, this man is good, what is wrong for the church to support that person to become a preacher? It's not always we have to go and hire a preacher. And there are many congregations when they hire a preacher, they even treat the preacher like an employee. And the preacher also sees himself as an employee. Employee and employer. Now, any elders, you're trying to say, who are you to tell us what to do? That's the kind of mentality some elders have. So it becomes a clash between the elders and the preacher. And the preacher also has a family. Need to take care of his family. So he also go along with what the elders say. Even he who is the one supposed to catch the vision. Sometimes elders go to meeting and they said, oh no, also for that, and they make decision, and they expect the preacher to implement that decision. Whereby the preacher is the sole and primary communicator. He has studied, he knows the spirit of the Bible, he knows God wants. So there must be no meeting without the preacher in part of it. He has to give the biblical spiritual endorsement to whatever decision they made. And we need to bear that in mind. And this is before being any panaba. Now say, well, me no monsieur dear, me no minimum way, until me kind of final say that. That's what is happening in our country, Ghana. And we keep on fighting. And even here in America, we brought them here. So it's very important for us to show this. Let's move on. The third is what? The deacons. With your short, 5 seconds. Deacons, they serve and they operate and they support the elders and the preachers. Because when by the first, brother Bako from me say, Nick, you know what? You are good in this. We can make you a deacon so that you can be doing this. I said, wait a minute. I don't have to be labeled before I can do that. Why do I have to become a deacon before I do that? So what? But you are good in it. You always talk about it. You are good in it. I said, no, you missed the point. You missed the point. Being a preacher, being a deacon, that doesn't mean you must do it. Train people to do it. You have to train people. I'm a deacon of evangelism. Okay, you the one have to evangelize. I'm deacon of, name it, visitation. And you expect you have to visit. I'm a deacon of the building. Then I have to cut the grass. I have to paint the building. I have to do this. Or that means I have to do everything because he's a deacon of cutting the grass. No. A deacon, you lead, you practice what you've been told. And you always train people within the ministries. Every ministry have a leader. And those ministry leaders, the deacon had to make sure that they are trained, they are empowered, and they are doing the job well. Deacons help the preacher and the elder for information and whatever's going on in the floor. Okay, it's very important. They manage all the ministries, benevolent, outreach, finance, and marriage, youth, you name it. All they are responsible for it. Okay. Now, then we go to the ministry leaders. Actually, you know what? Let me say something here about the deacon. In Acts chapter 6, when chaos arose, what happened?
They elected people to lead.
They elected people to do what?
To serve.
To serve. Now, the problem arose there, and they selected people to solve the problem. Did they end it there or not? Asamoaba, any ye nipa say omo wan yen so for sa asem no. Omo so abo e no. Atutwa ho no mo ana. Why?
There is a work to do in that ministry. It's ongoing thing.
Ongoing. So the deacon they put in place is a structure they put in place, and that flow up to today. It's not an event. Okay, so whatever we put in place, it is something that we have to continue, teach, mentor, educate, train, so that it will continue. And I can say, we've inherited many things that are creating problems within us because they did a lot, no doubt. I applaud them. They did wonderful things a lot. But I think one thing they lacked was a vision. Okay. When you have a plan and you lead people going, and for something happen, you fell on the roadside. The plan still have to continue, right? Yes. That's what training comes in. Ministry leaders, they activate and implement activities in the church. They lead specific ministry areas, and they activate spiritual gift within the team. Also, on the deacons and the ministry leaders, The ministry leaders, they always with the people. They know who can do what, who can do what, who can do what. And then the ministry leader link in with the deacons and they link in with the preacher. You see how it flows. So when the preacher is preaching, he knows what is happening within the ministries and what he can say to commend them to do more and what he can say to resolve some certain issue. That's what happened. So it's like a dovetail. They work together. They work together. So ministry leading is very important. Now let me say this final, and then I will take my seat. Then I'll give you the yellow paper. What I'm about to say, don't misinterpret. Okay. Last year I bought a book. Actually, it's an Audible book. And somebody recommended that to me. It's called The Masculine in Relationship. The Masculine in Relationship. It's about marriage. How a man should treat your wife. How a man should be man. How a man should be man. Send your bema, obey your bema.
You have 5 minutes.
Okay, ma'am. Send your bema, obey your bema, man to man. Masculine in relationship. And I borrow some ideas here. In a marriage, men, sometimes we compromise. We let things go because we want to keep our marriage. We want to be loved. And we compromise and we let things go. A wife will make certain decisions. Sometimes the decision is very bad. But sometimes we just let it go. And sometimes when it continue, the woman actually overpower the man. And then they bring chaos in the house. So masculine in relationship is telling me that a man, you have to be a man. In other words, your wife, your family, everybody have to know you are in control. And when I say you are in control, I'm not saying you bully your wife or you're bullying people. No. You are in control means when issue comes, when problem comes, you'll be in a position to solve it. That's making you a man. You make tough decisions that your wife might not like it, your children might not like it, but because you know the future, where you want to carry your family to, you make that decision. They might not understand it, but down the road, no, they understand it because you know you made the right decision and it helped them. Men make certain decisions, and sometimes they make that decision and go back and hide the corner somewhere and cry. That's a masculine in relationship. Be a man. Don't let a woman control you. God has given the leadership responsibility to lead the church, to lead your family, to provide, to help, to guide, to protect. That's you, the man. So masculine in relationship, as I brought it here, as a preacher, as an elder, you have to be known as person who is in control in the church. And what I mean by that is, when you speak, people need to listen. People need to listen. When issues arise in the church, people will count on you that the problem will be solved. When people have problems at home and things are very bad, you'll be the first person that come into their mind to call. You're a man, you're in control. And anybody who is in that situation go through challenges, difficult, problem, many things happen in their life, but they persisting, they continue because they know where they were going, where they are going. They went through hardship. Look at the apostles. Only one died natural death. Even that, he went through a lot. Some of them they put a boiling oil on them. Some of them were hanged upside down. But persistently, they continue. And through them, we are here today. So as a leader, a preacher, or an elder, you need to have courage. You need to have wisdom. And you need to sacrifice. You need to be responsible. You need to cast vision. And you need to be accountable when things are bad. We need that kind of person. So if you're a man here, you want to be an elder, you want to be a preacher, you want to be a deacon, whatever, ask yourself, are you the one? And again, don't let this threaten you, sir. I'm not the one, so I can't be an elder. We want it. Okay, but, how must I put it? You can avail yourself to be what? To be trained. Okay, it means hands that hold the church together. Or that means, bring it back. I think it's at the last page. The hand that hold the church together, the elders, the minister, the deacons, the ministry leaders. These are the people we need. Unfortunately, remember so why late and so mama. Every crop more online, so I don't know. I don't even like online studying. I'm not yet. But anyway, so our brothers and sisters, let's think about this. We will not get people here who can able to take charge of it. Okay, now, I have a questionnaire here. This is self-assessment. Okay, last week, is for the entire church. This one here is self-assessment. One can say so. This question I'll be with you. This questionnaire is about you. This is self-assessment. Okay. And this one, don't bring it back to me. I want you to be honest to yourself. I want you to be honest to yourself. Okay. So, all right, Bernard. You want to be the next deacon, elder, or preacher? Okay, go ahead.
You were talking about the elders, preachers, deacons, all like...
Last week, they moved from my dear mommy. Go ahead with your question.
I thought you were talking about like the elders, deacons, ministers, like everybody working hand in hand together, right?
Yes.
Like a team.
Yes.
And also, you also just brought the concept of control.
Yes.
So let's say I'm a preacher, right? I have this wonderful idea for the church. Let's say we're going to talk about visitation. And then I brought it up. And the leaders are like, well, this is not the right time for visitation. You want to talk about like youth something or marriage something. Where does the control come in here? Does the preacher's voice over?
Let me stop right there. That means there's things are not organized in the church. Period. You cannot just wake up and come and say, I have an idea, let's do it. And some people say, that's not the time for it. And then this one upset. Why? We need to do it now. Why? There's no organization here. There's chaos now. If everything is done accordingly, okay. You have an idea of what? What did you mention? Evangelism, right?
Yeah, visitation or evangelism.
That's a visitation. If there's a structure in the church, we will have a visitation ministry, right? You take it right there. Okay? You discuss it over there. Okay? Now, if you guys cannot come into an agreement there, where are you supposed to go? Huh? Come in the ladder. Or someone, he knows what is needed at that moment. He knows the biblical support that he can give for that issue. Okay, so you discuss about it, and then maybe you give it to the deacon, they take it to a meeting, and they also discuss about it. Now, when it's being discussed, and the leadership have come into conclusion, have the spirit of humility and accept it.
Sorry.
Okay,
Time.
I know. Have the spirit of humility and accept it. Because you see, some of the problem we have is just opinion sharing. I want to do this. This is what I think. No, we need to do this. This one said, no, well, I want to do this. This one said, it's not time. Why? And then the church come, they do it, they have a meeting, the leadership have a meeting, and they put things together. And my opinion is not part of it. Then I'm upset. And then one year, and then you walk out. No. That's not the spirit of humility. Even the decision that arise and you against it 100%. Okay, you're against it 100%. Oh, I saw now I make a decision. From the leadership at the back, I saw you now try to make a decision. But who you are against it 100%. The moment majority of people have agree with it, follow it. It's not about you. It's not about you. You don't know what was in their mind. Okay? So it's not about opinion. It's about the fact and where we're going and what is, you name it. Any other question? All right. I'll finish the rest of my 10-minute sermon. Tell you, I'm saying, with the medicinal leadership, I be with the baby, you sermon. And I just say, no. Now, Mensah me brave. I'm on 20. And no suffering here. Some me who are question be contribution, whatever. Nothing to me, Maswa. You know my number, you know my email address. We need more. This leadership, and we'll give it to you, and let's talk. We want to build this church. We want all these pews to be filled. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
I should be pretty 75 for not 3 pen about. Hey.